There's a tournament technique at the moment known as strolling. It's proving really effective on our barramundi, bass and other species. I recently caught up with my good mate Nate Archer, headed to the impoundments to chase some barra and find out what all the fuss is about.
Strolling has been such an effective way of fishing of late. It is a new trend that has started in Japan and has moved into the tournament scene in the States. Now this technique actually was developed by Japanese anglers fishing from the bank, so you do not need live sonar to catch fish with this technique. It is a very subtle technique. It really shines on pressured fish. So fish that are normally shut down and not willing to bite or have seen a lot of like high vibration presentations. You followed that for so long. This subtle technique and approach is able to trick a lot of these really flighty, really smart predatory fish into taking an artificial bait.
Yep. Good, got him. Nice.
Well, we made a change and we've got things happen.
Nice, mate, nice.
Oh. And what we got from that is a beautiful Mondi fish from paying attention to the detail.
Strolling is using a jerk or a fluke style soft plastic that you will hover in the water column by a finesse technique of popping that lure to make that lure roll. There's terms where they say hover strolling and mid strolling, and that refers to different depths of the water. So a hover strolling rig is where you have nearly no weight in the lure and you're fishing those really high fish. Mid strolling is fishing the mid column of water, which is what I target mainly. I'm going to do a lead cast out in front of that fish, find my splash, bring that lure over to that fish. I'm now going to let that lure fall down and match the contrast of the fish. It's just turned out. Now I'm going to do that cadence.
Here we go. Yep, got him.
When it comes to strolling, it's a very similar tempo to walk the dog style baits, where it's that similar cadence. You want to get in that rhythm where you're popping that lure with a bit of slack line, except you're doing that upwards. All right, but you're going to be slow rolling just like you would a paddle tail, but you're putting in there that upwards pop. You want to get a little bit of a slack line and you just wind it in just like a slow roll. Check that you've got the right cadence to get that lure to roll all the way over to one side, all the way to the other. And once that lure's rolling backwards and forwards like that, you've got it down pat and you just wind away.
Yep, got him that time. There he is. Oh, he's a good fish. That big body roll.
For the rod attributes I would look for when using this technique is you want to make sure that that rod is not too tippy, that it's dampening the pop. You want to make sure it's just stiff enough for that. I prefer spin. Spin is always easier with this technique with your grip. There we go.
Raid fish roller matched up with Venom 12 to 30 pound 7-foot spin stick, 4,000 size ATC reel, 49 pound braid. And that is what we need to get the job done. You have to choose the shape of the plastic that suits what you want to do with it. And it's all to do with vibration levels that the fish are picking up on. And this one, you'll notice, very flat surfaced, both top and bottom. So it's almost a very square shaped plastic compared to some of the more rounded, elongated. It doesn't have a paddle tail. And then if you rig it right and fish it the right way, it's going to give you that presentation, which will get you those bites when sometimes nothing else is working.
You've got to make sure that these are rigged straight through the middle. You want to feel your way through the body of the plastic there. You'll actually feel the air cavity in these raids. I like to run the hook through that. That means you're in the center of plastic. And then with the 7.0, it's the second square from the back on your markings. And you push that on through there. And now you have a nicely rigged, straight strolling bait. I pair these lures up with a 1/2 ounce jig head weight with a 7.0 hook. You want to make sure it's a nice strong hook, and that 1/2 ounce is a good size for me. I find that it's able to get down to all depths, whether the fish is a foot down from the surface or 10 meters down. I find that that's the best lure for me, best weight for me to use, and the gape on a 7.0 isn't too much that it stops that lure from rolling. If you have too much coming out the top, it keels it too much and it won't roll. As a technique for targeting pressured fish, It is very hard to go past this technique at the moment. If you're not giving it a try, you're really missing out on a really hot bite.